The metal door to the sensorium stood before them, featuring a relief of a tree, just as Gorith had described it. The three companions watched as Ara stepped towards it, and then began to push. To their surprise, it moved effortlessly, despite its apparent weight. The door opened smoothly and silently, slowly revealing a picturesque walled garden, the sight of which left Lismond and his friends speechless. Not only was the beauty of it breathtaking, but despite it being daylight outside, in the garden it was clearly nighttime. Ara was the first to enter, confidently stepping into the moonlit darkness. The others, still feeling disconcerted, needed a few moments to break out of their initial stupor. They swapped a few astonished glances with each other, before craning their necks to gaze into the room beyond. A few moments later, Lismond followed Ara inside, and his two friends followed thereafter. The garden was circular in shape, and roughly 300 feet in diameter. The walls that encircled it were made of a dark stone, and covered in vines that bloomed with white blossoms. At the centre lay a calm circular pond that perfectly reflected the clear stars of the sky and the large full moon that presided over them. Beyond the body of water stood a large tree, one which resembled the relief on the door, and also a female figure which could be seen resting against its trunk. Walking into the garden felt as walking into a beautiful painting. There was something unreal about it, as reality was never this beautiful. It was as if every flower petal, every blade of grass, and every star on the firmament had been placed there with meticulous care, as if every detail was a subtle stroke that spoke of the sensibility of the artist behind them. As their guide circled around the pond towards the tree, the crypt cleaners followed her, still lost in the beauty that surrounded them, and lost in the beauty they were, when a terse and calm voice broke them out of their trance.
"Moon blessings, my dear serfs. How may I help you?"
Lismond and his companions were left speechless a second time. Just as the garden was a place of perfect beauty, so was the woman that lay before them. Despite being clearly a blue blood, she was the most beautiful thing any of them had ever seen, to the point where the sole act of watching her was causing their hearts to ache. There was something haunting about her. Every feature in her face was perfect. Her tempting sweet lips, her delicate nose, her long silvery hair cascading onto the floor and spreading across the garden around her, her pale skin so delicate that it was almost translucent, and even her eyes, despite their characteristic blue blood coloration, were like two large full moons that shone with an alluring beauty that threatened to drown them in desire.
"Has Yosamold sent you?"
spoke the woman again, noticing the difficulty her visitors were having in responding. Her voice was calm and affectionate.
"Oh, no. I'm sorry, my lady. It was not Yosamold, but his friend Gorith that sent us,"
answered Lismond, not really knowing what to say, and still trying to break his mind away from the effects of her enchanting beauty.
"Gorith? That name sounds strangely familiar, yet I do not think I know him. Mayhap I have heard him mentioned in passing,"
she said with a gentle smile. Then looking over the four of them with amusement, she added,
"You are indeed a curious band of fellows, are you not? 4 serfs, dressed in such amusing garments. So what brings you here then? What does your master want of me?"
Before answering, Lismond, now in better control of his faculties, gave Ara a short glance. Managing to make eye contact with her, he hoped his look would prepare her for what he was about to say.
"My lady, there is something our master needs. Something he believes is in your possession."
"In my possession? And what might that be?"
answered the woman with warm amusement.
"It is something that lies within you, my lady."
Lismond didn't really know what he was doing. All he could do was hope that with every improvised step he was taking, he would manage to find something to latch onto, something that would allow him to determine his next move.
"Within me? Is this a riddle then?"
Perhaps it is, my lady."
Ara's expression had tensed upon hearing Lismond's words. She now understood that the crypt cleaners had come here with ulterior motives, but still, she did nothing. Perhaps the promises of Gorith's help had sown some doubt in her allegiances and made her question her options. Perhaps Lisman's gamble had accomplished his goal.
Very well. I do enjoy a good riddle. And you, my dear serfs, are the clues to finding the answer to this one, are you not?
Lisman exchanged a nervous glance with Ernon. The priest, having not been prepared for Lisman's improvised plan, found himself looking to and from the beautiful blue blood and his leader with barely disguised concern. Pepper, meanwhile, simply hadn't been able to look away from the beautiful woman and was barely aware of the conversation at all.
You are the leader, I assume. I can see in your posture that you know how to fight. And on your side, you carry a lunarite blade. Never before have I seen a serf carry such a weapon. Your master must hold you in the highest of regards, and it is no wonder. I can see you have a brave and caring heart. I can see your worth in your eyes.
Thank you, my lady,
said Lisman, surprising himself. He didn't remember being so intoxicated by the allure of a woman, not since his first love, back when he was a young boy with a naive heart at the war camps in Oestra.
And you, I can see you are a learned man. I can see wisdom and intellect deep within your eyes,
the woman continued, now facing Ernon.
You flatter me, my lady. I do not deserve the kindness of your words,
answered the priest, his cheeks blushing red.
Are you perhaps a serf from the scriptoriums? One of the few of your kind to possess the intellectual prowess required for such work.
My lady, your words, they please me greatly, but I do not know of this scriptorium you speak of. I am a sun priest from the Order of the True Light.
A sun priest? I have never heard of your kind before. You must come from a faraway land, and there is magic in you. I see it now. Yet it is not moonlight. How strange.
It is sunlight that powers my magic, my lady, not moonlight.
What a novel concept. I wish to know all the intricacies of it. That golden sceptre you carry reminds me of a moon rod. A sun rod, perhaps? You and I shall spend long hours discussing this, shall we not?
Oh, nothing would please me more, my lady.
The woman gave Ernon a warm smile that made him blush even further, before turning to Ara.
And you, young one, you dress as if you were not a serf, yet you are one. I apologize, my lady, but I am no serf,
corrected Ara in an uneasy voice, feeling the need to clarify her status.
Are you not?
The blue-blood woman seemed surprised.
I can see the blood of the moon running through your veins, yet it is not enough to make you a blue blood. You may be high among the serfs, yet you are still not as high as we.
The woman, noticing how Ara was feeling uncomfortable, was quick to add,
Pray forgive me. It was not my intent to hurt you. As it can be read in the ancient carvings of the old ogre tree, truth can only be changed if one embraces it. I simply spoke it.
Pepper shifted nervously in place, knowing it was about to be his turn. He forced his slackened jaw closed and tried to adopt a less dumbfounded posture.
And you, my dear one, you look the most ordinary among your companions. Are you then mayhap the most special one? Thank you, my lady. I am just a humble servant, carrying everyone's hopes and dreams, garnered together from the dawn of time, all on my own fragile, servile shoulders.
The woman laughed upon hearing those words, a pure innocent laugh that made Pepper blush and lower his gaze to the floor. He shuffled his feet and clasped his hands together, suddenly feeling shy and embarrassed, yet with a smile that stretched from ear to ear.
You certainly are,
she said with a smile.
What is that on your neck? Is it perchance a night glass? Yes, my lady. Care to try it? With it you can see past the most powerful of illusions,
said the bald man, and without thinking raised the trinket to his eye. Had he, in his beauty-bewildered state, remembered the embalmed manservants or the horror of his dilapidated room, he may have chosen differently, but such was the natural and almost second-nature use of the night glass to him now, he acted before he thought. As he looked through, what he saw before him was no longer the fair maiden with delicate features and a warm smile that he desired with all his heart, but an expressionless padded doll. Bulging pockets of stuffed fabric gave shape to its limbs, torso and head, which were threadbare and soiled from years of neglect. Countless glyphs were carved all across its body, and glowing metallic spheres of silver were placed in her joints. Her movements, which moments before seemed delicate and graceful, now seemed bizarre and twisted on a form that had no business being alive. His jaw once again slackened as he gazed upon the unnatural creature, and then dropping the nightglass, the poor thief could not help but let out a long strangled shriek.